Today I'm presenting my project on Fruitvale Station and how the film connects to racial profiling, police violence, and the larger structural issues that affect Black communities. My main focus was understanding how the movie tells Oscar's story in a way that reveals bigger patterns in society and not just one tragic incident. I wanted to see how the film lines up with ideas from ethnic studies, especially around visibility, stereotypes, and structural racism. My research question was pretty simple. How does Fruitvale Station use storytelling to show the everyday experiences of Black people and connect Oscar Grant's death to broader issues within policing and society? I wanted to understand why this one story became so symbolic and how it fits into the conversations from movements like Black Lives Matter. So let me give a quick overview of the issue I investigated. Oscar Grant was killed on New Year's Day in 2009 at the Fruitvale BART station in Oakland. People around him pulled out their phones and recorded it. The video spread everywhere and sparked protests. Ryan Coogler used these real events to build the movie. Instead of making it just about the shooting, he focused on Oscar's entire last day. The film shows him as a father, a son, and someone trying to move forward in life. That choice shifts the story from being only about a police incident to being about a human being. Now, the rhetorical work I analyzed is the movie itself. The way Coogler tells the story matters. He starts the film with real cell phone footage, which immediately reminds you that this is not fiction. This sets a tone where viewers already know how the day ends, so everything feels heavier. After that, the movie slows down and follows Oscar through normal moments, like waking up, talking to his girlfriend, dropping off his daughter, and helping somebody at the grocery store. These scenes challenge stereotypes we usually see in media by showing him as a fully developed person rather than someone on a screen. My main argument is that Fruitvale Station is powerful because it links Oscar's personal story to larger systems of inequality. It shows the emotional side of his life, but it also shows the constant tension he feels through public spaces as a Black individual. Coogler shows how Oscar changes his tone or posture depending on who he's talking to. That might seem small, but it reflects a real pressure many Black people and other minorities deal with. You're often judged before you even say a word. The movie makes that clear without hitting the audience over the head. To support this, I used evidence from ethnic studies scholars. One example is Saidiya Hartman's idea of forced visibility. Hartman writes about how Black people are watched, judged, and made visible. But visibility doesn't equal protection. It can actually make somebody more vulnerable in certain cases. Oscar is visible everywhere he goes. People see him in the store, on the train, on the platform, but during the actual incident, the police still saw him through racial assumptions instead of as a human being. Hartman's theory helps explain why being seen isn't enough. Another connection comes from Kianga Yamhata Taylor, who argues that racism is built into systems like housing, education, employment, and policing. Taylor pushes the idea that incidents like Oscar Grant's death can't be understood in isolation. They come out of a long-standing histories of inequality. When you look at Fruitvale Stations through her lens, Oscar's story is not just one mistake or one bad officer. It's part of a bigger pattern that's been happening for decades. The pattern explains why these situations keep repeating. I also looked at digital witnessing, which is something Yarimar Bonilla and Jonathan Rosa talk about. They explain how phones change everything by letting public document police violence instantly. Without the cell phone video, Oscar Grant's story might not have been reached or might have never reached national attention at all. Fruitvale Station uses that real footage to highlight how important it is that ordinary people can record what they see. Digital witnessing gives power back to communities by showing the truth even when official reports try to say something different. To put all this together, the structural issue at the center of my project is systemic racism in policing. My ethnic studies lens focuses on how race, media, and state shape the experiences of Black communities. Fruitvale Station shows how racial profiling and stereotypes influence not only major encounters with police, but the entire way Black people experience public space. These moments reveal how systems treat people differently based on race, even when they're doing normal everyday things. So what do I want my classmates to take away from this? I want people to understand that Oscar Grant's story is not just a tragedy from the past. It represents the pattern that continues today. The film is emotional and personal, but it also shows how structure and history shape the present. When you see Oscar with his daughter or his mom, it becomes clear that police violence isn't just about numbers or headlines. It affects families, communities, and the way people move through the world. Fruitvale Station reminds us that conversations and justice or about justice and change are necessary because the systems around us don't always treat people fairly. The movie honors Oscar's life, but also pushes us to think about the bigger picture and ask why these incidents keep happening. The reflection is what ethnic studies encourages. It asks us to connect individual stories to larger histories and structures. If I were showing a visual, which actually I do want to show, I would choose a picture of Oscar Grant and his daughter. This is him and his actual daughter, not the movie. And I chose that picture because it captures the whole message and it shows who he was beyond the moment of violence. It shows the life and relationships that were affected, and it reminds us that behind every headline, there is a person with people who love them. Overall, my project argues that Fruitvale Station is effective because it blends personal storytelling and structural analysis. It helps us understand the emotional reality of racial injustice while also showing the systems that make it possible. What happened to Oscar Grant wasn't isolated. It fits into a much longer history, one that we have to recognize if we want to continue to change. Thank you.